That is really abrupt. That is really abrupt and needs to fade out. Welcome. This is Magic Collins. Welcome to Fight the Funk podcast, hosted on Anchor FM, also streaming on iHeartRadio, Pandora. You might be running like I did, and here just pop up like, oh snap! It's Fight the Funk podcast. First off, Georgia's about to make it happen, man, and by making it happen, I mean they're about to vote. I don't know if anything is. I feel like Georgia, it's one of those things where it's you're happy because like, all right, they're about to vote, they're about to be able to breathe and just get it over with, and like, but also the passion, the fight that they putting down, like it's a lot of people just like, yo, this is my time. I think these are the years where these hard times where like people like Bernie Sanders are made. It's like it's out of these periods like that forms. It's like, because if you go back to if you look up a picture of Bernie Sanders walking in the Martin Luther King marches, the poor people's movements and stuff, it's like you see this man in the back and he's like, I'm still, it's like it's young Phil Byrne, you know, it's young Byrne. Bernie Sanders was young Byrne, and they call him, hey, young Byrne, young Bernie, young Bernie Sanders, hey, young Byrne, young Byrne. And that's why I feel like it's like, regardless, it's you want people to win so you can do the work that you know needs to be done. But this period of time, it gives you hope, because these are moments that create future fighters. You know, this is like that the sheer adversity has already created so many like freedom fighters, liberation fighters, women movement fighters, like people of all different types. It's like this period is tough, but it is tough, and it has made people like who they're going to be or who they are. And it's like, yo, there's young Bernie Sanders out here in these streets right now, like learning. And that's the part that's dope. Whereas like, if we can see long range, we're like, man, we creating some amazing people right now. And some of them are in their 30s. Some of them was like had a felony and didn't think they could be a part of society. Some just had a cat and it was like, you know what, I want to get into politics. And it's like, and they're like, you know what, I'm gonna feed my cat and go get back into law school or something. It's like people are making life-changing decisions right now that they can build on and build a legacy rather than just trying to make a living. And that's special, man. That is special. And it's like you hope the best for Georgia, and you hope that states don't get put into this position, because it shouldn't really be a back-to-back election and one state has to do it twice. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot to ask. And that's a lot of money to ask people. Like, hey, y'all ain't got no money? Let's do two back-to-back elections. Like, overall, you're just looking from a bird's eye view. It's like, we shouldn't be doing this. And like the idea that this is how things are playing out, it's a tough situation. And you got to take your hat off to people that are responding to it. But also, when it passes, like, let's make sure we get money out of politics. Like, that should be a huge goal, man. Capping how many times you can call people and capping how many times you can send flyers out of your, hey, like, people shouldn't have a phone book of candidates, of flyers that are sent to their house. It shouldn't be pamphlets that turn into phone books. It's like, it's too much, man. It's too much. And we create and reinforce litter culture. Like, we're just littering. We litter online. We litter during election seasons, and it's like, the work should be throughout. And I feel like the whole littering culture of election season benefits the wealthy, because like they can just flood the market. You know, they can drop 200,000 like it's nothing, and smear or whatever they need to do to win an election. And it's like, so those 3 months they can just boom, and then people that are broke got to compete with that. It's like, fuck, man, I can't just let you shape the narrative of and get more of your needs for a few people, rather than a whole group. And I think it's something where it's like, that's the opportunity with Georgia, is like fighting for racial equality, fighting for better healthcare, fighting for the farmers that are in Georgia. And it's like, it's one of those moments where you can affect so much positive change. Like one state has so much like ability, so much opportunity to be like, yo, we can be the reason why people get Mitch out the way, you know, why people can breathe. Like they can, Georgia's in that unique situation where they can provide air for the rest of the country. And it's like, it shouldn't be that way. They shouldn't be in that position to begin with. It shouldn't even come down to this election, whether or not people are going to get better care moving forward. The idea of that it comes down to an election where people can get better care, it's like, that's ridiculous. And people are still playing the hands they dealt. It's like, that to me, that's a strength, but also something to be aware of. Like, this is problematic. Like, we're forced to play these hands, and we play the hell out of them. Like, Georgia's giving it everything they got, but they shouldn't even be in this situation. Like, the farmers in Georgia shouldn't even be in the situation they're in. Of course, the American people, like this pandemic should never been as severe as it is. And it's the stats, is in fucking reports. It's like, it shouldn't have been this bad. And so part of that is accountability. And if our own government is like, y'all not gonna hold the people that failed accountable, then we gotta hold it accountable. And then you guys become the passive party. Y'all are accountable as well. But I just want to say, man, Georgia is like that. Those situations are creating future real leaders that are going to be for the people. I was reading an article where a woman was like, I can't unsee what I saw when I was marching for Black Lives Matter. And it just made me like, she moved to Georgia, and it's like it rejuvenated her. Cause like, before you just read about it in some textbooks, and it's like, oh, police brutality, black, you know, are you watching some comedy, some comic set in the police brutality bit, and you're like, yeah, I get it. But then you see it, and you're like, oh, this is real. And so I was reading a lady that was had an interview in the newspaper. She was like, yeah, man, I moved to Georgia, and I just, police brutality is at the forefront of my cause. And I want to see change to that. It's like, she's grounded herself in purpose. So regardless of this election, even though it is so important, that's still going to be with her. And it's going to be a gift to see how those passions play out over time as people start evolving and they learn more about themselves. They learn more about how effective they can be. And it's a gift. And I feel like a lot of that is like, how do you take adversity and make it a strength and turn it into something powerful, you know? But so hats off to Georgia, man. Back-to-back elections. Somebody just needs to take the whole state out to a beer. Like, hey, Georgia, the House round on Jeff Bezos, because he just collecting shit, and billionaires can't spend enough money, man, to like, we holding them up. Like, y'all good? Y'all good? Okay, fuck. Oh, y'all good up there? Oh, Like that's our economy. And so yeah, man, it's shout out to Georgia. Round of beers when this pandemic subsides. Second thing, man, the smoking gun. I actually don't even want to talk about like 45 pleading to pleading to get fined 11,000 some odd more votes. I need it. I need 11,000 more. Just can you get, how can we get 11,000? I'm just saying, just 11,000. Like that's some shady shit, man. And here's the thing, I think people don't understand. The thing that makes it hard to have real capitalism and real, like a real market, like where it's like like I always say, the ancient times of trade and the spice trade. To really have that is like you're not gonna really have that, because motherfuckers that got wealthy are inherited wealth, and they got that lane. Like you don't know how to lose. So it's like, so you're gonna rig the deck. It's like nobody innately, man, people don't like losing. So it's like, why would we think that you can just have an open market where things are built like capitalism is built on genocide, is built on slavery. It's like, so it's never been a healthy for the people market. It's like, it's always been for the few. So we can't expect it to all of a sudden work better. It has to be people understanding that and fighting for what works better for the actual general public. And it's like, I feel like everything 45 is doing at this point is just a microcosm of it. People that are born in wealth and born with a silver spoon, is like they don't know how to lose. So they will rig the deck, and they don't care what cause and effect is. They have no ties to what the actions you take are going to harm. That's why you can have so many public gatherings at the worst times of like, you can shove a Supreme Court justice through and have everybody out and have the super spreader at your own White House, thing we supposed to be protecting, and you the one that bringing the virus to the White House. It's like that's a wealthy person. Like the things you do go over things you just like, why would you do that? It's like when you come up in wealth, it's like there's certain parts of reality you've never had to experience. So it's gonna go over your head. I remember I used to work as a mover, and it's like watching some of the bizarre requests I would get from people that they never moved a couch in their life. It's like the mind, because it's, to me, it's not even a vilifying thing. It's just understanding, if you come from wealth and all you've known it and you never really stepped into the shit, or not even stepping into shit, is like if you never like just grinded on some shit, just grinded, man. It's like making shit happen. If you never done that, you're not gonna really understand how your decisions are gonna play out into everyday life. And even if you do care in a way, it's like you're still not connected to it. Like there's still not like oh shit, if I decide this whole group start, it's like, if I do this, then okay, they're gonna be able to better sustain themselves and make moves and build up, because that's what they're gonna do anyway. So it's like, so all I gotta do is stay out the fucking way, put the right support in place, and boom, they're doing their thing. And it's like, I feel like that's what we miss when it's so much like our government is so dominated by people who are disconnected from real life. And that's why, and it goes back to Georgia, where it's like you got two candidates that they can't even they can barely pretend to give a fuck. Like they just, hey, we do this for the working class. Like, no, you don't. Stop playing. Like, girl, you was flipping them stocks, making hit cash funds. You ain't for the people. Stop playing. And that's where it gets goofy, man. It's just, why are you even in office? Stop. You rich. You filthy rich. Stop. You don't need to collect more, man. Y'all need to protect. Stop protecting things that you're good. You good. And I think that's the thing is there's an obsession. There's an obsession. Like, it's a game. To get more is a game. And that's a part where it's like, if you understand how your decisions affect other people, then it's like, yeah, you can be a healthy capitalist and healthy business person. And it's like, I understand how my actions are going to affect you as I build, as I buy a stock, as I build whatever wealth. And it's like, but there's a connection there's a relationship of what I do and how that affects you. And I can still be just as the hustle can still be real and just as savvy, but it's more connected with people, with the people. And it's like with these two candidates, you got two that they only have to give a fuck when they're trying to win an election. And as soon as it's over, it's gonna be like basic politics 101. It's like, all the promises you made, you ain't got to keep that. And those two, the Loeffler and the Perdue, is like they have no intention of doing anything. Like, their record shows nothing of the sort but making money. It's like, and it's like, if making money is your thing, get out of politics. And I feel like that's the biggest illness or ill to our society, is that it's been centuries in the making. This is just, everything's coming to a head, but it's like, you got centuries of people buying their way into politics because they want to use the government as a money-making entity rather than a institution that's about the people and what the people need, and a real democracy. Oh man, that's crazy. It's a real democracy. So it's like, right now, all we have is a continual undermining of democracy. When you have money, people that are governed and they're using the government to make profits. And it's like, why? How twisted is this? So 45 pleading for 11,000 votes and more 11,000 votes. Like how many mixtapes he gonna drop? Like how many? Like, how many? Is just another bad mixtape? Like, this dude, like, on tape saying, I'm grabbing crotches and getting them girls and getting them her, and I'm rich, so it don't matter because I'm getting them crotches. Like, how much you got to do before people like, oh, this is not a healthy individual that we should continue to give any kind of like, this person should not be in place where their hand is on things that can take a country into darker directions. And it's like, and it's just proof, man. It's just, all this stuff is just like, it just keeps unfolding. Like people that aren't from a real world, it's the governing comes from a place of just being disconnected, man. It's why you can have Mitch just like can go a year without real funding, because it's like, he's not connected to it. Like, it's not going to affect him. And that's why it's like, it's exciting, because people can see the differences, the subtle differences in the politicians now. It's like just because they're a Democrat don't mean a diggity damn. Like, it don't mean a thing. It don't mean a thing if they wear a blue tie or red or red or blue or blue tie red and blue. It don't matter. It's like look at the person and their record and see what they do. Like, were they out there marching with Martin Luther King on the right side of history when they were 25 or something? It's like those are the things where people like can just easily find out. It's like, was Mitch was Mitch McConnell out there with Martin Luther King? Was Mitch McConnell out there with Martin Luther King marching for civil rights and human decency? Probably not, man. Probably not. Like, is Loeffler gonna be out there, like, besides doing photo ops, but is she gonna really be out there like working with people trying to say, okay, let me I think that's why is people like Bernie Sanders is so few and far, because I don't think to truly fight for the people means you can't actually be 100% Republican or 100% Democrat. Like Bernie Sanders spent his whole time in office literally fighting against both parties. And I don't know if people know what kind of fight that is, like the spirit behind a person who will take on both parties, like the backbone. Like, that's backbone right there. Like, dude, you took on both parties. Like, they pretty much boxed you out for a good for a good 10 years before you even sniffed a seat in your local government, you know. Before you even got close to a seat in Vermont. Like, they were boxing you out. Like, nah, man, he's trying to do this shit solo. You gotta join one of us. Like, we can't have you just like crap on both of us. Like, well, you a loose cannon, man. We can't control that. Like, at least if you're a Democrat, you can get control. But or if you're a Republican, you can get, you know, it's the mom and dad thing, good cop, bad cop. It's like, but if you just a solo agent, like, what, we can't, that's dangerous, man. We can't control you. So it's like, I don't think people understand the fight it took for him to even just break into an office, and the amount of times he had to fail and look ridiculous and keep running, keep fighting. And like, yo, I'm not going to toe the line with you guys, and I want my seat. Like, that's pretty much what story of Bernie is. Like, I'm going to fight. I'm going to take a seat in office. I'm going to take a seat and curve and make my own lane. And I know there's some level of, I got to play y'all game, but it's like, I'm going to take my seat and I'm going to stay the lane of helping the people first. And sometimes that might mean I'll look like a Democrat, or I'll look like a Republican, or I look like a socialist, or I look like a fucking capitalist. It's like with my book deals, like, we all are born into this system, and we all are trying our best to figure this shit out, figure out how to best, well, not all of us, figuring out how to best help the people and be a contributing member, as well as make our own living and make our own, build our own well-being. And I feel like that's what you need in office, you know, is people that are like, I'm for the people first, not by word, but by actions. And whatever I say on this podium don't mean shit. So just look at my record, just look at what I'm for and against, and what I've actually fought for and against, what bills I've actually helped write. And to me, it's like, that's how if you're focusing, if government is your thing, it's like that's the goal, is to focus on, zero in on the people who will fight for people. And not just like I'm blue, I'm red, because those ties change, man. Those ties change. Even 45, he would have been a Democrat if he knew he would win on that ticket. It's like they be flip flop. They just want to get influence, leverage, and make wealth. Like the using the government as a wealth making investment. Like, cool, I get put in 4 years, I'm cashing out. I'm gonna make all these people that I did favors for. Now they gotta help me get my business off the ground. It's like all that shit is tied together, man. Transitioning. All right. So this bit is this is a side note, but I don't know if you guys have a dog. But one thing that's starting to happen is this dude is, every time he goes on 2 feet, like he'll just like, I don't know, he just fart. Like every time he gets on 2 feet, I don't know what it is or why it happens, but it's getting a little too, it's like, dude, every time you look out the window, I gotta hear like little poots and shit. It's like, I don't know what to do with that. Put that out to the ether, to the universe. Is like, what do you do with a dog when he gets on 2 feet and he just farts like every time? It's weird. Like I'll looking out the window and on demand, on cue. That's just 2 legs is not good for, I guess, this dog. Or it might be good. It's just getting the air out. So this last part is about mental health. What's something? I think one of the things that unexpected when it comes to mental health is I actually have like I've turned into, like, I have favorite mental health influencers, if that makes any sense. Or it's like I'm like, oh man, it's one of my favorite mental health influencers. I think that's dope, man. It's like mental health influencers, like that shit's dope. It's like seeing this person. Okay, I like what they be talking about, and they be keeping it, real, but also you can hear the okay, I can use that. Like you can apply the stuff that they're putting out there. So shout out to the mental health influencers, man, the healers out there making shit happen, because it's a lot of work to do moving forward. So it's like all hands still on deck, and it's gonna be on deck, and then it's kind of cool, man. It's all these mental health influencers. Now, let's see. One of the things, with, I feel like a lot of people are coming into this year mentally beat up, and that's where like one of the influencers, mental health influencers, are like, she did a post about like hope, and I think that is a part of every equation. And it's like, if it was hope, prayer, meditation, is like, there's a reason why those are so powerful. Like, and it is studied. Like hope, prayer, meditation, like is powerful, man. And it doesn't. And I think people are steered away from the things. This is part of that capitalism part, the part that isn't healthy, where everything that's free, everything that doesn't cost money, is like people get kind of steered away. Like, what meditation? You don't want to do that. You want to spend $500 on a thing. And it's like that becomes the norm, where it's like, what? You going to pray? Nah, man, you want to take your credit card and swipe and spend $200 on the thing. It's like, What you want to do is mental health support, peer-to-peer support group? Nah, man. You want to take the nickels and dime you have and spend it all on another thing. Is like, and that's why we collect so much stuff and it doesn't fulfill us. It doesn't really help us move forward. It's like, because the actual things that have been proven and studied to work is not financially lucrative for people to exploit. So it's like, so I'm not gonna hype you not spending all your money in instead focusing more on your mental health in affordable ways, and meditating. Like, meditating is not going to make me money off of you, so I'm not going to tell you like, yo, meditating is some of the most dope, profound shit you can do. Like, or praying, like, hey man, that should be a part of your New Year's resolution. It's like just little stuff where it makes a huge difference in people's lives on a personal basis, and it might take money out of other people's pockets, which is, in this state, in this culture, I feel like that can go a long way. It's like, it shouldn't always be about making the dollar. It should be about well-being. And then you go and then you make the money, you do your hustle, and then you get it's like, it's a balance to this, man. In today's Fight the Funk podcast is brought to you by ginger and turmeric tea, organic, from Trader Joe's. So cheers to ginger and turmeric tea. I think it's a little better than the fizzy water. So, because I'm not being rude and belching, I think that is, man, this is just nice. You got rich people acting a fool because they don't know how to take an L. It's a mental health influencers. Like, so much research, so much stuff is like, yo, we're marching for permanent change. It's COVID, so it's like, yo, yeah, we might not be deep in the streets, but we still marching. We are marching spiritually. We are marching online. We are marching with our research. We are marching with our plans for health and a better living for our family. We are marching with our strategy, with our with that positive movement forward. It's like the march is a metaphor, and it lives in us. And it's what we do every day, is how we invest our time, is how we build. The march is in our legacy. The march is in us. It's like, every time I see Bernie Sanders up on that vote, every time I see Bernie Sanders, like the latest thing where he had those big ass checks and stuff, and he was like, y'all want to see socialism? Y'all want to, this is socialism. You see these corporate, you see how much Chevy, they got 300 million. It's like he is marching. Like, I don't know if people understand that. It's like, this man went right from marching with Martin Luther King to marching through his speeches, to marching with his bills, to marching to be able to stand up in a room of people who don't want to fuck with you because you won't toe the line, and you won't be. You will come off as blue, you might come off as Republican, but you are for the people. Like, that's marching. Like, that is marching for the people. It's a metaphor that it lives inside of you. How do you march? Can be in the classroom, can be in the medical field, can be a social worker, can be a bus driver. It can, it can be the groundskeeper. The garbage truck driver. Is like, how you march is in you. And then, it's like there's a time where it's like, oh yeah, it's time for us to come together and compare notes and be like, yo, what you been, okay, you doing that? Oh, that's dope, man. Let's team up on it. It's like, so the march evolves and there's a time and place. There's development, but it's always about development and self-growth, and figuring out what's the next phase of self, of evolving self and building up self, to contribute to society. And that's where it's like, I feel like there's the disconnect where it's building up self to just hoard and take people's for all they shit. It's like that's a self that leads to nothingness. You know, it's like that's not, you won't, legacy is never built on taking everybody's shit, or legacy is not built on the lives you didn't help, or the lives you didn't touch, or the lives you didn't affect. It's like, the comedian in me wanted to run away with that, like the lives you didn't touch. What? It's like the comedy bits. Okay, whatever. The comedic angles on stuff. All right. This has been another episode of Fight the Funk podcast, and you can catch this on Anchor FM, Pandora, iHeartRadio, and it's only going to be getting better. And I am enjoying this process, and I hope people are enjoying the information I'm putting out there, find it valuable. Please hit me up with feedback. It makes it a lot funner on my end, and check it out. Check it out. Check it out. And this has been another episode of Fight the Funk podcast. Be well. It's a